So, hi everybody and welcome back to this C++ tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 82 and in this video we continue with our exercise, and I cleaned up a little bit my code because I messed a lot up. What I mean with that is it looked messy, and yeah, we stopped anywhere there where I should create this selection, I think. I'm not sure, perhaps. Where I can select to quit or go out, and I show the solution here. What I made, it was just a simple while loop. I wrapped all the code which I created before. This one here, that was our presenting all our databases, depends on our choice, where I put all the database out which I choose here. And then I asked the customer, you want to go back to the selection screen in this line, or you want quit? And then he could type in what he wants. And then this variable I changed as well. You can read it. It's now called go, quit, or go category. So before it was just go, quit, or category, and I think when I add this go, it makes more clear. So, and then after changing this variable, it would loop here, because this variable is here used again as a loop condition, and it says as long as the customer has not typed 1, he will loop, which means he won't go back to the categories. I think we did this, and let me continue now with other things. And I realized one more thing. I did something which was not even asked in our task. I said perhaps we should give the customer 3 chances to enter the password, and that was not even asked in our task, but I did this, and I think this is also very important to show, because here we repeat again many logical operators, and that's why I have to show you that. And how I'm solving that, there are different ways, and my code was already a mess. So I said I try to choose the easiest way, and the easiest way is just when I click here, I wrap all the code what we write so far. This is this one here, all in a while loop. So all the code what we have, I put again in a while loop, and then I set the conditions when he can enter to the login screen, or when he can loop to the login screen. And the condition 1 is if the found username is false, then he can enter. Second, or, this is a or logical operator. And then I said found password must be also false, so not true. Then he can enter. And you see I used here this round brackets, very important here, because here I have a or, and then this whole thing here is connected with an and. And this and we learned also. Here in this case, one of this one must be true. Then this whole, let me show you this a little bit more here. So this point here will be true if one of this one is true. And this and is now connected to the whole block here. So which means if one of this is true and this one is true, I can still enter. So, and this one is go, quit, or go category, which is if he types 1, he wants quit, and quit means in our case, okay, the code is finished. Go to the last line, which is just type type something in. That was our pause function, more or less a pause function, just as a helper function for pausing the screen, and the code is finished. And I made again an and here, and this and is actually our counter. So he got 3 times the chance to go in this loop. So this counter, while counter, what I called it, while counter, it is a while counter, okay, for player input. So later he got yes, this while counter means for this counter here, and he has 3 times a chance. As long as this one is not free, this will be entered, and we have he can try to type in the right username or not. And the important thing is here, I just put the whole code in a while loop and solve it with these conditions here. And you see, these conditions are not too complicated, but it's also not so easy. It is, I said, try to make very short logical operators or something like that. And yeah, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, but I think that's, oops, not this one. I think this is still the limit. We see this is only one, let's say 1 block here, 1 block here, so 3 blocks. That's okay, but if you have really more than this one, that can be hard to follow. But that's that. And now I have made this line of code was not asked in the task at all. So if you have nothing like that, no problem. This was accidentally included because I was sleepy and forget to read the task right. So I made overwork, but on the other side, I made very crap work. And this one I want to show you too, how I messed up. And what I mean with messed up is normally what you have to do is when we click here, now the code looks very clean, very fine. And when I open this one up, it should be still working like this way that you can read it easy and understand all things almost instantly. That is so the goal about programming. And you will see that my code, when you read it, you can't understand it instantly. Let's go through and see what I mean with that. So, okay, we start our code. In main is the compiler start point. Let's read it. I open this up. Okay, this one is good. Why is this good? We see instantly on top we have only variables. Also, okay, with training we see that we have on top only variables. We say they are local variables for the function int main. Okay, that's okay. There is nothing wrong. And it is nice that they are on top, which means they will count all for the following code in int main, so it's usable. And that's not a problem. But you see here I have some comments here. And this is an indicator there is something wrong. Why I say that? Because a variable should be self-explained, should explain itself, right? So let's see what I have here. When I read this one, for example, okay, user string username, that is normally, this explains itself. That is normally good, right? But I wrote here, input can be wrong like numbers, take check. Okay, this one here indicates, this is just for a programmer info here, this. Because I have not implemented a check system for this input. Okay, this one is not bad actually. This is good. Okay, this is just for the programmer, not for, yeah, let's say for anyone else. And that's not a problem. Let's continue. This one got not a comment. So password, it makes sense. We understand this instantly. Good. This one got not a comment. Yes, we understand this one also instantly. This is just a database array with some elements in it. Yes, the same goes for here, same for here, same for here, same for here. That's all nice, but what's that? Why I have here so many comments? Let's see, we have here found username, false. Okay, but this makes sense. This is just, yeah, like it says, it is a username, it is found, and the default value is false. What is the problem? And then it says here, also needed for reset after fails input. Aha, there is a problem. And what is the problem? This variable name has actually 2 functionalities. Or we use it so that we will use it in a way that it can have 2 functionalities. This one, as a beginner, we can solve it easier. And how we could solve it, for example, we should make perhaps here, instead of using a variable name with 2 functionalities, just another variable who covers this functionality here. So I mixed up two functionalities in one variable. This is in general bad. Why is that so? Because now it depends on this variable here, and it depends on two places now. Yeah, this is not good normally. So normally you would do something like bool and say also needed for reset after fails input, then write it there. Then just write failed user name import, something like that, and set this to false and use this one for this fails check. For example, instead of using the same variable for two different places or in use cases. So instead that you should make something like that, because this variable has then only one place to use, and this variable will check up the other case. Okay, it is a little bit more typing work, but it is clear. It is straightforward, it is clear. When you read this place later, it makes sense. So I messed up here one time, but it's okay, it still works. But just don't make this one. And this mixing up with more conditions, it gets worse in my code. Let's continue. Let me show you this one more. So I continue with my code. Okay, the variables, it says here no comment. This is good. Good, it makes sense here. Category selection, yes. With default value makes sense. Go quit or go category, yes. That's I changed this variable too here a little bit, because before I had here go quit or category, but yeah, I changed it go quit or go category to make it more, give it a little bit more descriptive sense, because now I think with one read we understand what is what we should do, or what we said here. And here again the same problem like here with this found username. Bool found password false, also needed for reset after fails input. Again, double functionality of one variable, not good. It should not depend on different places. You use it for one case and that's enough. If you need another variable, another place, the same variable, just create a new variable to set it as special for the purpose of it. So, okay, we have found two bad cases, but I commented at least here, so I know this variable has more functionalities, which is bad. So let's continue a little bit and let's see what we have, what I have done here with this. It says here in while counter for player input, max free tries. Okay, this one is just info for the programmer, and info for programmer means I solved this here with free tries, which was this one. And this kind of info for the programmer you can keep or you can kick, but I keep it because it is also a little bit descriptive, and actually we don't really know when we read this name here. I really don't know what it is doing or why I need this variable here. I read here only while counter for player input. Okay, it is a counter, but this max free tries I need it for later implementation here. That okay, this should have max free tries, and so okay, this is info for the programmer. We can stay, and you see, but still this variable block is general good because all variables are on top. Very bad this double functionality, but all other we can keep it. So let's go now to the real problematic place, and it is my while loop. No, the while loop looks very nice. We wrapped up all the code, we set up the conditions, and we check just these conditions, and then we can enter it or we can't enter it. So this while loop is good. That's not the problem. We have discussed this already at the start of this video, and that's fine. And the only thing is you must be careful, and here setting all this round brackets to be sure that this logical operators behave like you want, because this AND is over this one, and that's why I set here these two round brackets here, so that this one is evaluated first and then it's connected with AND and this block here. And here I have not set other brackets because they are equal. It doesn't matter. But to make it sure, you could make here also more round brackets like you want. So just make it visible and fast readable. So this was not the problem. Let's continue. I click now this plus sign and I see, okay, now here is something. I click this one. Okay, this looks already bad. I mean, not really bad. It's all open. Let's close a little bit so that we see what we have. Okay, this is closed. Let's close this one here, close this one here. And now the while loop makes a little bit more sense. Now you see this line here is scope, but this line here, I mean this brackets here, what we learned is curly brackets is our scope, which means all this one belongs to this while. But this line here, this what you see here, it indicates also nested code. So for example, this while loop here, what we see here is nested in int, right? This is the first line. And all the code here belongs to int, but this is our nested level 1. We can call it 1 or something like that. Then I open up this one and now I have here something like this one. And we see here our nested level 2. This line here indicates nested level, which means included in other code. And nesting is bad when you make it too much. Yes, it will work, but it is bad. And why is bad? Okay, nesting 1, 2, and 3 is not bad. But what I did is bad, and you will see why in a moment. I show you what I mean with that. Let's go on. Okay, the first while loop will just enter our logging screen. Okay, we can see this here, but if you want, you can write here also a comment. For example, to make it clear, the whole block here is, yes, logging screen, something like that. And you see this comment, what I'm going to write is not describing here the code. I describe this block, what this block will do. And logging screen, that should be enough. And this indicates then what I'm doing. And then we can go here, and here it says compare input username with database, data names. Okay. Let's see what I did here. Okay, we nested again a little bit. What I'm doing here, I start a for loop. Okay, that's cool. But I nested in the for loop this if. So now I have here again nested, and yes. Why is this bad? Because now I need to track also about these conditions. For example, here I had the start conditions that I can enter this while loop. Then here, this is a normal for loop. This is not a problem. But here I have for my if statement again a condition. So I need to track for this one later if I want to follow this code. And then, okay, but this is still okay. We have here just 4 nested levels. This is doable, I will say. But let's continue what I did here. If we continue here and I open this one up, oh, this looks also very nice because there is even, it went back 1 nested level. You see, we was here on 4 and here I go back to the third rank. That's good. So which means it is clear at least to this point here. And all right, what it does is check password. Oh, wait a minute. What have we here? It says check password, quit or category select. Wait a minute. Wait. Where is that? Check password. Okay, I found username. Where is the password? Check. I can't see it. Problem 1. Quit or category reselect. Where is the quit and category reselect? Because this comment should now give up block info. Okay, let's open this up. Perhaps we find it anywhere, right? Let's do it. Let's open up this else statement. The else statement means here found username was true. And this one is also something we should perhaps We could perhaps use other way around. We could write here else if, and then found username. Perhaps this one would make it more clear. True, at least for this one here. What I mean with that is now you can exactly see this is for false, this is for true. It's easier to read, but that was not the mess. The mess starts now with when I opening up this else if statement, and you will see why. I open this one up, and let's close it here. Let's close it here. So this else if starts here, and it says, okay, I checked the password here. All right, I wrote it here anywhere. Check password. Okay, my password check, I find it here below nested level. Yeah, this is here after this else if statement actually. And let's see what happens then. I open up this card, and then it opens up this while. And what is this while? Go quit or go category 1. Okay, quit or category 1 reselect. Yes, that one is this reselect. And it's not here. I find this one here nested in the 4th rank. Okay, let's continue and see what happens now. I go down. Oh my god. And what is that now? I have here a switch. Okay, after I selected this category, I can do something. And what I can do? Yes, I can quit. Here I can read it quit, or I can select it new. Okay. Okay, nice. But what is the switch? What is the switch doing here? I can't read. I don't even know what the switch is doing when I'm reading it, right? Right off the bat, I can't see it. I must open this one up and say, okay, category selected. Okay, now it makes sense if I selected this category. So because of this variable name, I assume I have selected the category and I can show it. Okay, okay, cool. And what you realize is also look this nesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are already on rank 5. Here on rank 6. And this one has also cases, and this one has here again a while loop rank 7. And okay, but we have tracked them so down, right? We followed all these lines, right? And actually we are finished here. This one is closing after this one, so we have found a nesting level of 7 or something like that. And the problem with all this nesting level is it was too hard to follow the track. What I mean with this is my goal was it when I close this all again that I just read. Let me show this again in a short way. So my goal was normally I read this one. I go here in, then I read this one. And it should be very fast, not thinking too much and not tracking too much. Here, then I go in, okay, I compare username with database. That was okay, that was not that bad, because this is not too much nested here. Yes, I have the username here, which I described here, and I'm comparing this one. Okay, that works, that's okay. We don't complain about this one, but here, okay, check password. Where is this check password? I can't find it instantly. It was here anywhere down. And then the worst case is the other things depends now. This quit or category select depends now on other conditions. And that is the real bad thing here. So this nesting is an indicator that you made conditions or code dependent on other conditions, variables, and something like that. So all time when you see something like this nesting lines, it's most time a bad sign. The reason is this code here depends now. Let's see this. This one while loop depends on this int while variable, right? But to enter this place here, it depends on this go quit or go category variable. But to enter this while loop here, it depends on that this password must be the same. But this password to be same depends now on if found username is actually, let's see, here must be true. So it must be true here. Depends on this one. And this one depends, okay, this one is on top. We are now on top. Depends on this conditions here. You see, to check this in the middle, we have made dependencies on other variable, on other variable, on other variable, and the other one is depends on other variable. And actually, that is crap. We can, of course, we can track like I showed you here one by one, but in general, you don't want that, because now I must check all, let's say I have to check all cases, then I must set case 1, this one check, then check this one, check this one, check this one. Okay, now how I check this one and this one? This is one of the worst mistakes. Not this are real mistakes, it's not the worst. Let's say it is one of the mistakes you can make, like I did here, that will make your life very, very hard. But the point is, it still works. I did this here even with this many dependencies, and if you try out hard enough, you can make them all connect perfectly to each other so that this will work. But what I want to show you is this is crap. What I did is crap. You should try normally, and in future we will learn some new keywords, especially not keywords, we will learn this kind of functions. This will make our life very easy when we go there to functions, because then we can functional groups, and functional groups means you can make a group, this functional group, if it's finished, then it comes the next functional group if this is finished, and it is more modular. But right now what I did here, this is by far not modular. This is by far something what you should prevent not to do. And I hope you found a better way than me. And if you have found the same way like me by nesting and nesting and nesting, then you trained your brain very well, because this nesting has one downside. You must now check all conditions very carefully. If not, it will not work. This is the positive, the only positive thing that you train your brain here. Because actually to make this work is not so, it's not difficult, it's not too difficult, but it's also not easy compared if you would have just a functional group, which what I mean with that, just this one is finished, then we go to the next group, finished, and so on. So last word here is try to avoid this nesting, but that means not try to avoid this wrapping. This wrapping is just setting up, what I did here is just setting up a start condition, right? This is just a condition checker for that you can enter the code. This wrapping you should do, because I stop not here. I have to show you one more important thing. And now it is not asked here, but why not? Let's make this. We can check this code. We learned a system to check this code, right? If you want only how we check the code, you can wrap this code again in what? In a try catch block. But I think if I show you this one here, then the video will go really too long. And that's why I show you at least that even I messed up this code so hard that this can work. But this is not the perfect solution, and of course you should rework your code. So what I did also is I get rid of doubles. That is also very important to note here. Sometimes I created a code, for example, if you remember this one here, this was doubled in my code, and the reason was not because it was wrong, it was doubled. The reason was I tried to solve one task, then I needed this code, and then I tried to solve another task. Then I said, okay, well, I just copy this code here down, and then I have this doubled, and later after I finished both tasks and re-watched the code, I said, hey, now I can make this more easy, because now I'm finished and I see I reused some code, and in my case was something like very simple and I made it too complicated. For example, where was it? If I remember it, I'm not sure. Here, yes. I made this one very, very bad. What I did was actually, let me copy this one here. I did something like that. So I had this one here. And the reason for that, why I had this one here, is first I tried to solve this task here. And this task just checked here the username. And then I said, okay, if the username found, it's okay. But if it's not found, the false case, then print out this one. Later, after I said, okay, this works, I can go on. I'm finished with this comment here. I go on to the next, and the next was, okay, now we check the password. And for the password, I tried this approach, where I said, hey, I'm very smart. I use this slot of database I here, and then I can make very less code here. And actually that was not smart. That was stupid like hell, because I made the code very difficult. Why it's so stupid? Because now this code was dependent on something which should be not dependent on. For example, here on the bottom, anything like that. But let's skip this part. That was one reason why I had this nested code here, because it was not smart. Write a little bit more sometimes, then try to be smart and write less because you are smart. That's also very important. Most time when you write less code means you are trying to reuse variables. For example, like I said here on top, this one I reuse in other places. This is one very bad decision. Don't make this. Rather create more variables and use them separately. That means later modular, than using variables in different places for more purposes. This comes same to the concept here. I use here a condition, later I create here a while loop, and this has also a condition, and now this condition depends also on this condition, and this condition depends now also on this condition. That is crap. So try to avoid all kind of stuff, like if a variable depends on another variable, don't make this. Make them all, try all time to make them separately, so you can go straight forward to their own task, own module, and finish it. And then don't be worried to think about, oh, wait a minute, this condition depended also on this condition. If you think now this one, you are already wasting time. If I would make this differently, I would not think about this, right? I would just have here, okay, I check this one. If this is finished for its group, then I'm finished. And I'm not dependent on any other condition or any other variable. Only in some cases, right? So when you are wrapping up something, but this one is then only one time and not like me 100 times. You see this while counter here or whatever is now dependent on this one, on this one, on this one, on this one. So 7 dependencies or whatever, how many, I don't know. That's very bad. But let me continue with my double code. Yeah, here I had this one. So this one I finished this task here, and then I had this one, and then I started the next task here, and then I had here down this code here, and then I saw, oh, wait a minute, I could just use now, after I rewatch it, I could just get rid of this one and put this line of code what I have here. And exactly that I did later. I just copied this code here down and just deleted this one because it becomes redundant. And I delayed not usable code. And the same goes here later too. This was also a copy anyhow. And then I said, hey, wait a minute. I just have to copy this one to this place here. And I could go rid of all the other code, and that was that. So that was a little bit of cleanup, and then I get all rid of the comments, this planning phase. It's not very important later. And then I have this one. So not a very good code, but important is, does it work or not? Okay, let's check this. This is the final check. And the result what I come up with is, I'm happy as far as it goes. I can write, and this is also very important. Normally what I have to do, I have not done it. Now you have to go through all cases. All cases means all possible inputs and our outcomes. So for example, first of all, let's write a wrong name. Let's write a wrong password. Yes, that was expected, right? It says here name does not exist because I checked first here the name. All right, and here important is I have only 3 tries, right? Let's show here. I said you can only try it 3 times. So let's write it here again, a wrong name, wrong password. And it says again, name does not exist because, okay, but this time I write a right name, coder, and now a wrong password and wrong password. Okay, and I'm out. It kicked me out of the program after this one. So this one worked, but does the other cases work too? I will not go through all cases here now because I tested it a little bit. Not all cases, but some cases. And let's write here a right name, a right password, and see if I can. Okay, I'm in. I can select now the categories. Okay, I select 0. My favorite books. Okay, I show my favorite book, and now I can choose. Do I want to go back to the categories here, or do I want quit? I can choose here, right? Okay, let's go back. I want to see if I can select all the other ones. Here, 1. Yes, cool. Do I want quit? Go back. I go back again. And I want to see my favorite movies. All right, I have my movies. I have again the option. Do you want quit or you want go back? Okay, this time I watched all. I'm quitting. Bye. And it worked. Good. And now you have go on with other cases. These are when it works. What happens if you write the right username and the wrong password, or the other way around, the wrong username and the right password? And all these cases must be checked normally. I skipped that, but in general you should do this to make it sure. And with that said, this exercise code what I have here is a bad example, but I think it is still useful for presenting a bad example. And perhaps, no, I want to show you the try catch block here, that we should even put in here a try catch block, because we could make this, but this will now blow up the video really long. So, but here just think about that you can wrap this while wrapper again with a try catch block, but this nesting with a wrapper while block, it's not the same as doing something like this one, because this one is really making the variables, the conditions dependent on other conditions, and you should try to avoid it. Sometimes not, sometimes you use that intentionally, but make it only short. Let's say 1, 2, 3 nesting, or 4, but not what I did here with 7 nesting. This nested variable, oh my god, has 7 condition checks before it can go here, so there is something wrong. And we can't follow this code instantly, then yes, then there is definitely something wrong. But you can see it still works with some brain power, which shows not that I'm very smart, it shows that I'm very stupid, because this should be made normally with, yeah, like I showed you here. This should normally made like so, that you have one component finished, then you jump to the next component. Okay, there could be 1 queue nesting for if checks, while loops on a wrapper or something like that, but that's it. And then go on and so. But we will learn soon these functions, then yeah, then we can make this a little bit better. But till then, I think that was all about this one here. I think you have a better solution than me. And the most important is, it must be not better. I hope that you just tried it, because this one, this exercise, is here that you see that keywords alone will not help you. I mean, just keywords alone to understand will not help you. Here we learned a lot of how to use it, where to call it, what we should do. For example, all this kind of stuff what you see here, this has nothing to do with keywords. This has more to do with something how to use it in code. And how you can combine them. And this one is a very bad example how you can combine them. Don't nest it like this, or you make your life only hard. But I hope you found a very good solution. And if not, still good, because you tried it. And if you found a solution that is perfect, doesn't matter if it's good code or bad code. If you found here a solution that proves you tried really hard and you found something. All right. With that said, I stop the videos. If you have any comments or on any complaints, that's all time good. Write it in the comments. And good luck. We will continue. One more note in the future videos. Now, the videos will become probably a little bit more, let's say, more difficult than this one, because functions and classes, yes, they are easy if you understand them, but function and classes have something to do also with calls. Calls means you can recall them, you can call them on other places, and that can cause more. You have to track more. The most cases what we did so far is we just started from top, right? And we worked more or less down. So we just started from top and we went down. And when we learn functions, this will change. We can jump. We can write a function here and jump then on another code here. And when we learn even classes, we will jump to other files. That will not difficult, but different. Also, we have to track a little bit more. So that's it. See you in the next video and good luck. Bye.